There is a specific moment when you open your banking app and the usual tightening in your chest simply isn't there. You aren't doing panicked mental math in the checkout line or worrying that a single bad week will derail your entire month. This sense of relief doesn't require $1 million or a high six-figure salary. Financial stress actually dissolves in distinct stages, and the first major shift occurs much earlier than most people expect. For most, that turning point arrives at $20,000. At this level, your savings reach a critical mass where they stop acting as a temporary emergency fund and start functioning as a versatile tool. Wealth is a series of invisible thresholds. Every time you cross one, the rules of how you interact with money change. $20,000 is the first point where you stop playing defense and start playing offense. Saving your first few $1,000s is a grind. Starting from zero, progress is heavy and slow, like pushing a massive boulder uphill. Every dollar saved requires intense effort, and the results feel painfully small. Once you reach $20,000, that resistance begins to lift. You are no longer fighting for every inch of progress from a dead stop. The weight of the money itself starts to assist you. This is where momentum takes over. Because your savings now have significant weight, the account begins to move forward alongside your own efforts, making each subsequent $1,000 feel lighter to achieve. The shift isn't just about the balance, it's about your brain. When you have no savings, you live in survival mode. Your mind is forced to focus on immediate threats, making every decision feel urgent and every expense feel dangerous. This scarcity limits your options. You stay in jobs you dislike and avoid taking risks because you can't afford a single week of instability. You aren't lacking courage, you're lacking a buffer. Having a cash reserve changes the internal dialogue. You stop asking how you'll survive until Friday and start asking how you can use your current position to grow. Building wealth requires the ability to think long-term, and $20,000 provides the breathing room necessary to move out of reaction mode and into intentional planning. This chart models a $1,000 monthly contribution at an 8% return. Initially, growth depends on your deposits, but after $20,000, your money works with you. A 10% return on $2,000 is just $200. On $20,000, it's $2,000, a tangible, significant amount of growth. Seeing these visible results makes it much easier to stay disciplined. When the math finally shows noticeable progress, the effort feels justified, reinforcing the habits that got you there. To reach this milestone, you had to become someone who says no to impulse and yes to a plan. Reaching $20,000 proves you have the capacity for delayed gratification and financial discipline, which changes how you see yourself. You stop obsessing over the price of a coffee because you're focused on the larger levers of wealth. You start directing your energy toward major decisions, like your housing, your vehicle, and your ability to increase your income. This foundation gives you leverage in your career. When you have a buffer, you have the power to negotiate from a position of strength or walk away from a toxic environment. You no longer have to tolerate what you hate just to survive. This shift in confidence often leads to better opportunities. When you aren't operating out of desperation, you carry yourself differently, which people notice and reward. However, this is where many people fail. They reach $20,000, feel the relief, and immediately spend it on a lifestyle upgrade. They buy a newer car or a luxury vacation, effectively resetting their momentum back to zero. Every major purchase has two prices: the amount you pay today and the future wealth you sacrifice by removing that money from the market. A flashy car payment is actually thousands of dollars in lost compounding over the next decade. Treat this first $20,000 as the base for your future. It isn't a prize to be spent. It's the capital that allows you to stop reacting to life and start building a future you actually want. Crossing this threshold changes your relationship with money forever. You move from the anxiety of the present into the possibilities of the future. If you're serious about building real wealth and reaching your first financial turning point, subscribe now, because the next videos will show you exactly how to grow your money step by step.